Greetings, family. Peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, and thanks for visiting my channel. Well, San Diego debuts mouth swabs to detect drivers high on pot. But authorities haven't defined what level of drugs is over the line. We'll get to that. Let's go to the story. Well, as you know, a major concern of police about state laws legalizing marijuana has been how to detect when motorists may be driving under the influence of pot or other drugs. Now, San Diego police are joining a number of cities relying on mouth swabs for chemical tests to detect drivers who are on drugs. The swabs and two portable testing machines hit the field Friday night in San Diego, reported CBS 8 TV. It's the second city in the state after Los Angeles to use the new detection method. The machines test for the presence of marijuana and 6 other drugs, including cocaine, methamphetamine, amphetamine, methadone, opiates, and benzodiazepines. The level of intoxication, however, is not determined in the test. Law enforcement officials believe the number of impaired drivers are bound to increase with California's legalization of marijuana. A study by the state's Office of Traffic Safety found that 38% of drivers killed in car crashes in California in 2014 tested positive for drugs, legal or illegal. That was up 6% from the previous year. San Diego began using the Draeger 5000 test after officials met with authorities in Colorado, which legalized marijuana for recreational use in 2014, the San Diego Tribune reported. Canadian authorities began using similar testing swabs and machines from a different company in a pilot program in late 2016 in the city of Yellowknife, the capital of the country's Northwest Territories. Quote, "The goal of any of these initiatives is to save people's lives," unquote, said Royal Canadian Mounted Police Corporal Ted Scaplan. "And if we have further tools to be able to do that, I think it's very important." No, this is just another means of locking more people up if you can, especially when you want to use marijuana as an excuse. And what better way of trapping more black people and more brown people, by the way, by saying that, oh, they were impaired on marijuana because we gave them a swab. This is just an open field for police to harass more people of color, I believe, because we already know that the police don't treat white people like this when they stop them. So this is just another one of their ugly tactics. That's all I can say. I'm not in favor of this. They say it's to save lives. I say it's bullshit. Again, it's more tactics of how to mass incarcerate and lock up more people of color. That's what this is more about, in my opinion. But I'm going to continue. Swabs with portable testing kits are also being used in New York, Arizona, and Nevada, among several other states, as well as in Germany and Belgium and Australia, notes the Tribune. Other strategies, including breathalyzers that test for drugs and apps to help police measure impairment, are also on the street. San Diego police will first observe a driver to make an initial determination about possible impairment. The motorist may then be asked to run a swab inside his or her mouth for as long as 4 minutes. Then the swab is tested in the portable machine and results are available in up to 8 minutes. For pot, the machine only tests for the active THC compound that causes a high, which usually stays in the body for a few hours. Well, right there, they have that information incorrect, because THC actually stays in the body of a person for up to 30 days and possibly a lot longer if you're an everyday user of marijuana. So that information was incorrect, and this again is a trap, in my opinion, to trap more people of color and put them more and more in jails and prisons. This is foul. So they have a system that's set up, a legalized system out on the streets where they can sell you the product, but lo and behold, if you use this product and it happens to be in your body and you're driving down the street, because like I said, THC stays in your body longer than just a few hours. That's so incorrect. They're going to take you to jail. This is, again, targeting more people of color, putting us more and more into their prisons and jail cells and cages. So a driver can refuse the test, but then an officer can order a blood test. The next problem states face is determining the level at which drugs in a person's system could result in dangerous driving. Once defined, levels can only be determined with a blood test. Well, I'm going to show this video right now.
In California, it's left to law enforcement to figure out if a driver is, in fact, actually impaired. CBS 13 has explained to you the challenges that law enforcement and the courts have with determining impairment. And today, there was a hearing at the California legislature to push forward a bill that requires marijuana impairment to be measured.
So is technology the answer? CBS 13's Drew Belay is in the newsroom getting answers. Drew?
You know, as we told you, right now, police have to rely on these field sobriety tests to determine marijuana impairment. But skeptics say that those can be unreliable. And technology, it is catching up. There's things like this app that was developed by a gentleman out of Massachusetts, and it puts people through a series of tests that go through their motion control and reaction time. You have to follow dots, you have to do balance, things of that nature in order to test whether or not somebody may or may not be impaired. It's an effort to quantify impairment. So could this keep bad drivers off the road?
When it comes to dangerous people behind the wheel, there's little argument.
We want to remove anyone who's impaired by any substance from the roadway to keep California safe.
But how impairment is determined is up for debate, while science and technology catch up.
We don't want to arrest people who are not impaired by the substance.
What we need is impairment testing, not drug testing.
Michael Milburn, a Harvard psychology professor, believes his app, Druid, could help.
What the Druid app does is demonstrate that it is certainly possible to measure impairment.
Here's how it works. People put themselves through a series of activities that test their coordination, ability to think on two actions simultaneously, follow moving objects, and lastly, their balance. The data is shown on a graph, compared to the commonly known standard of alcohol impairment of 0.08. Milburn says he hopes his handy app will allow people at home to make better decisions. Meanwhile, Assemblyman Tom Lackey introduced a bill that puts the CHP in charge of solving the impairment problem on the roads.
Field testing of certain technologies so they can gather data on the effectiveness of applying those technologies in the field.
With dozens of companies and tech out there, all options, possibly including Milburn's app, are on the table.
Now, here's why there's such a big debate about this topic. Because once you have marijuana in your system, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're impaired. So Milburn hopes that this app will also serve as a research tool that will one day allow police officers, just like the ones here in California, to put a numerical value on marijuana impairment, similar to that 0.08 BAC.
Still a lot of work
Yes.
to be done here.
Oh, yes, a lot.
All right, Drew, thank you.
Thank you. And they'll grab it by the base here. And what they'll do is they'll swab in their mouth, either side. They'll swab around their mouth up to 4 minutes, no more than 4 minutes. And once they're done with swabbing around their mouth, they'll take it, hand it back to the officer. The officer will take possession of the device itself, and he will insert the cartridge into the Dragger 5000. As he inserts the cartridge in the Dragger 5000, he'll take the oils, the solution here, and this is the solution that actually does it all, the magic itself. He'll slide that in till it clicks. And once it's all set and closed, you'll close the door, and now it'll start to analyze the test swab itself. And what it's doing is it's pressing down the fluid into the actual mouth swab piece where there's swab.
So as you saw there, that was a demonstration from a police officer of how this is going to be carried out into the field. So I'm going to end this video off here, but before I do, black people would like to know is when are these jails and prisons going to start filling up with those who are high and overdosing on heroin? That's what we would like to know, since white people across America are going through a down spiral that's triggered across America with so many white people falling off the face of the earth because they're overdosing on meth and heroin. When are they going to start filling up the jails? Because it seems to me that you guys like to target people of color most of the time, and it seems that's what this new set of methods to get people arrested, especially when you're sitting out here selling the so-called drug to people on the streets, and then you want to turn around and arrest them. Interesting concept. Again, when are you going to start arresting and imprisoning white people for meth and opiates and heroin? That's the question we'd all like to know. Inquiring minds want to know, when are white people going to start filling up the jails and prisons? Thanks for watching, people. Peace and love to you and yours, and until the next video, don't forget to love yourself. I'm out.